And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Well, the DMK introduced a bag full of goodies and concessions as part of its poll pledge today. If it was their hero in 2006, a heroine was scripted for this year's elections. And it's home calling for Chief Minister Karunanidhi. He will kickstart his election campaign from his home turf, Thiruvarur. Meanwhile, Amma is gathering her allies and trying to get her campaign vehicle back on the road. Very good evening, I'm Divya and these are the headlines on the news tonight. DMK's heroine stands up to its namesake. The poll pledge promises free mixers and wet grinders for women and laptops for backward class students. Galore of sops in DMK's election manifesto. Karunanidhi promises 35 kg of free rice for BPL families. Karunanidhi promises to speak to the centre to try and get back at Chhattisgarh. Manifesto promises free bus passes for senior citizens. Election Commission cracks the whip on bureaucrats. Latika Saran is out and Bolanath is in. AIADMK to release fresh list of candidates on the 21st of March. Candidates not to file nominations until then. The CEO says if proved action will be taken against the sports minister who was caught giving money to a woman performing aarti.
If they have been found giving such kind of thing and if we have actionable proof for that, we'll be taking action on that. We'll file an FIR.
Election duty puts regular activities on a standstill. CEO reacts to NDTV Hindu's report saying that elections are not an excuse to stop work.
Some work will get slowed down, that is always possible, but no work should stop totally. Whatever is legal should be done, and like giving of certificates.
Security is tightened ahead of the India-Windies match in Chennai's M.A. Chidambaram Stadium tomorrow. Well, the heroine, as the party dubs it, of the DMK has been introduced. In 2006, Chief Minister Karunanidhi wooed the farmers and women, and with this year's election manifesto, Karunanidhi has done an encore with it. 35 kilo rice free for 18 lakh BPL families have been promised, and if it was free gas stoves last elections, this time it's free wet grinders and mixers for women. The DMK chief has also focused largely on BPL families, senior citizens and upheld the Tamil cause for the coming elections. The free colour TV scheme will continue. The DMK chief has promised to find a political solution to the Sri Lankan Tamils issue and says he will urge the centre to try and get back Katchathivu Islet, where Indian fishermen are frequently harassed. The chief minister also says that Tamil should be made the language in courts and that the central entrance examinations should be conducted in Tamil. Karunanidhi's poll pledge also promises free bus passes for senior citizens, free laptops for poor students, and he plans to introduce new engineering colleges in the districts that do not already have them, and priority in government jobs will be given to first-generation graduates. Karunanidhi also touched upon the health sector, promising medical and educational aid to children affected by AIDS.
அத்தகைய வாக்குறுதிகளாக திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் வழங்குகிற வாக்குறுதிகள் ஆகிவிடக் கூடாது என்பதற்காகவும் அத்தகைய வாக்குறுதிகளை வழங்கி அதை நிறைவேற்ற முடியாமல் ஆகிவிடக் கூடாது என்பதற்காகவும் அவ்வாறு ஆகாது என்பதற்காகத்தான் சொன்னதை செய்வோம், செய்வதை சொல்வோம் என்று திட்டவட்டமாக கூறுவதை திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் கடந்த காலத்திலேயும் சரி இப்பொழுதும் சரி கடைப்பிடித்து வருகின்ற வாக்குறுதியை கொண்டுள்ளது. கடந்த தேர்தலின் போது வெளியிட்ட வாக்குறுதிகள் அனைத்தும் நிறைவேற்றிவிட்டோம் என்று நெஞ்சு நிமிர்த்தி கூற இயலாதவாறு நிறைவேறாமல் எஞ்சி இருக்கிற வாக்குறுதிகளும் செம்மொழியாம் தமிழை மத்திய அரசின் ஆட்சி மொழியாக அறிவிக்க வேண்டும் என்று அறிவுறுத்துவோம். உயர் நீதிமன்றம் உட்பட அனைத்து நீதிமன்றங்களிலும் தமிழ் மொழியை நீதிமன்ற மொழியாக அறிவிப்பதற்கு தேவையான சட்ட நடவடிக்கைகளை மேற்கொள்வோம். ஈழத்தமிழர்களுக்கு சிங்களவர்களுக்கு அவமான உரிமையும் ஆட்சி ஏரில் சிவபங்கம் அளித்து ஒரு அரசியல் தீர்வை ஏற்றுவதற்கு மத்திய அரசு உரிய நடவடிக்கைகளை மேற்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்று திமுக தொடர்ந்து வலியுறுத்துகிறது.
And let's listen to what the women faces of the DMK had to say.
I think the entire manifesto covers everybody from the underprivileged to the marginalized, it hasn't lost sight of future developments and city development. So I think it covers entire gamut of entire landscape of things. I'm sure people will really appreciate it, and it's like the Chief Minister always does. It's a well thought of, and it's a manifesto which cares for every walk of society. So, definitely senior citizens are unfortunately an ignored lot. So I mean, reaching out to them and especially making sure that there will be medical facilities going to their doorsteps. I think that is something which is very important.
I think it's a wonderful schemes manifest what they have brought it out, and there's so much for the people in need. So I think we don't even should have any doubts. Whatever the opposition has been talking about it, that's what I always said. Opposition, all they can do is talk about what they are not capable of doing it. But here we are proving ourselves that we are capable of this and much more. And the forthcoming elections are going to make it very clear how we are going to completely sweep this election. I think for the farmers, the amount of manifest that has been brought out for the farmers and also for the health care, I think it's wonderful.
Moving on, sources say the DMDK and MDMK are likely to sign a final agreement on the constituency today with the AI-ADMK. The DMDK's Presidium Chairman, Pandru S. Ramachandran, arrived at Poest Garden for talks this evening. Sources also are telling us now that Vaiko and Vijayakant are likely to meet Jayalalitha at her residence later today. The MDMK held a high-level meeting after senior leaders of the AI-ADMK formally invited their long-trusted ally back into their alliance. Ties between the AI-ADMK and the MDMK were strained after Vaiko expressed unhappiness of being offered only 8 to 13 seats. And while the AI-ADMK will release a new list of candidates on the 21st of March, the AI-ADMK had released a list of 160 candidates in their constituencies earlier this week, which did not include the MDMK, and that quite raised eyebrows amongst the allies as their wish list had been taken away. The AI-ADMK has now asked the candidates not to file their nominations until the new list has been announced. Moving on, the Election Commission has ordered mass transfers today in poll-bound Tamil Nadu. The EC ordered shifting of Tamil Nadu DGP Lathika Saran, the first woman DGP of Tamil Nadu in fact, and in her place Bolanath is going to be posted. And Chennai Suburban Commissioner of Police Jangith has also been transferred. And apart from them, 4 district collectors and 7 senior IPS officers have also been shifted. And back to our big story tonight on the election manifesto that the DMK has released. And our reporter Lokpriya now joins us live from the DMK headquarters. Well, Lokpriya, what are the highlights of this manifesto that you can give us at this point?
Well, it is a big manifesto that will really go down well with the people if they vote back the DMK to power. The big highlights of this particular manifesto that was released by the DMK chairperson Karunanidhi just a while ago was that free wet grinders or mixies according to the woman choice to every household, and also free the housing scheme that is being presently underway, the Kalaignar housing scheme. The assistance to the monetary assistance is increased from 75,000 to about 1 lakh rupee, and also free bus passes to senior citizens to travel in local buses, and also looking at the infrastructure development in Chennai city. They are planning to increase or rather extend the metro till Mahabalipuram and Iringatukottai to reduce the traffic congestion on road. A lot of welfare measures, a lot of freebies. What is interesting is that last time around it was that 1 kg rupee, 1 kilo rice at 1 kg rupee. There was a major clincher of sorts in the last time's manifesto of the DMK. But this time around, the Karunanidhi has made sure that he has something for everybody, right from the farmers till the transgenders. Everybody has something or the other to look out for in this particular manifesto. The transgenders especially have a special self-help group that will be implemented to take care of their grievances, and also corruption is another plank that the DMK is also planning to look at. It's planning to set up a separate grievance cell to address corruption in the government offices and the government hospitals, because there's a lot of cases of corruption that is usually that takes place in that particular area. So a lot of sectors that the Karunanidhi has touched upon, a heavily populist welfare budget that Karunanidhi has offered to the people this time around. So in a way signaling the fact that he will not be perturbed by the 2G ghost and is planning to go to the people with a confidence that the people will look forward to his welfare measures. So an extremely populist budget, a well thought of, a well planned manifesto, which also includes the issues of Kachativu and Mullai Periyar issue and other issues. So very, very cleverly that Karunanidhi has drafted his manifesto, Divya. And one more thing that is important in this manifesto is that he is planning to propose Tamil as a official court language. So that's something that he's been pursuing with the centre, and he also says that he will make sure that the issues of the Kachativu Island will be retrieved, and also the Sedu Samudram project will be implemented soon. And also one more thing, coming back to the senior citizen front, the Karunanidhi government, if voted back to power, is also planning to send door-to-door doctor every 1 month for the senior citizens to look after their health care. So that is something again for the senior citizens to cheer, and their pension is also increased. So a lot of facilities for the senior citizens, for the farmers, for the transgenders, for the women, you name it. This particular manifesto has something for every section of the people. A widely populist budget that will be known if the magic of this will work on the 13th of May.
Right, Lokpriya. So in a way we can say that the DMK's soap opera in fact has just gone bigger. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with all those details. And still ahead on the bulletin, with barely a few days to go for elections, what is the ground reality in the city? A special report is coming up.